Show special edition pre-Productronica event. I'm here with Carsten from Viscom. Carsten, great to see you. Haven't seen you for a couple of years now, probably not since Apex 2020, which is getting on for 2 years. Unfortunately, I won't see you at Productronica because we're not able to travel out of Australia at the moment. But we'll certainly be traveling again in the new year. I wanted to explore what's going on in the market at the moment, but specifically what your expectations are with Productronica. So let's start there. I'm kind of getting some mixed messages from the market. What are your hopes and expectations for the show?
Yeah, thanks, Phil. It's good seeing you, and it's amazing that we can do things like these over continents. And we certainly got used to it. As you said, Apex 2020 was when we got a glimpse of what's coming, but nobody expected it to take that long. And yes, Productronica is certainly the next big event for us, and we were looking forward to it. I mean, the show, Munich show team, they did a great job. They very early on said this will take place. We have everything, all the measures in place to have a safe event. And although numbers are, as expected, rising towards the fall and winter times here in Germany, we are in pretty good shape. And Viscom is ready to meet customers, to meet new customers, and have a great show. The team is excited, and everybody we talk to is looking forward to meet in person and shake hands or not. This is going to be interesting. I don't know. I've been to an event in California, and it was so unusual to me to just shake hands again, and that's certainly something that we will get back to normal pretty soon.
Yeah. And in terms of your expectations of visitors, I know you guys are great at doing your homework and getting the invitations out there and getting ahead of the show. Are you expecting a largely German, largely European audience, or are you expecting to see some overseas visitors?
Yeah, that's certainly unusual for Productronica to be a more European event, not so much only German. I mean, our European team is totally excited to come to Munich. But as you know, the US is not really in international traveling mode right now. So we will miss a lot of people from over there, customers, but also team members. So we won't see much US attendance. And of course, we know China and Asia in general is still not open to travel. So far, I know our Singapore team will probably not risk it because of travel restrictions so far. So that means, it's European focused, but Europe is an important market for us anyway. And so this is going to be a well-attended show and a busy week, and we have a lot of things to show. So that's actually a good timing.
Yeah, so let's touch on that. What's new at the show? I interviewed a couple of gentlemen from ASM a couple of days ago, and they mentioned that there was a Viscom activity on their booth, so that's exciting. Tell me about that, but tell me also what you've got new from Viscom at the show.
Yes, as you mentioned, team of ASM did a great job in preparing a very special line setup with few or little user interaction, just a lot of automatic things, and we have a good partnership with ASM. Really working on that interface to have AOI integrated into the line concept very well, and that's exciting. So we'll be on the ASM booth, of course. Viscom is in hall A2, second hall right at the entrance where we've always been, and ready for customers. As you know, maybe the show floor is arranged a little differently. We have wider aisles, so this goes against booth space a little bit. But we really wanted to keep the spot in the front, and so we have 5 machines, so everything on the show, something from inline X-ray, inline AOI, everything in 3D. We have our solder paste inspection, our manual X-ray systems, and something from the wire bond semiconductor world. So we show the whole product range, and we're very excited to meet customers and show our new developments, which is something I really want to talk about. What have we done in the last 18 months, pretty much? The pandemic was a chance to really invest into R&D to get developments ready, but we also launched a whole new inline X-ray product series, which is not only for assembled PCBs, but for semiconductor or, let's say, advanced assembly products. Then everything from the heavy duty inspection. So what is heavy duty? That's large and heavy products, which we see a lot in like inverters in automotive electromobility applications that require X-ray. We do device inspection. We do that for quite a while. And device inspection means, you know, the let's say mobile devices, tablets, phones, everything like that, to inspect quality X-ray these devices before they are shipped, which is exciting, and it's a big market worldwide. And of course, very large PCBs, as you see in the server area and in 5G applications and so on. So we have a new basic system design that has that's like a block system. So you can make it a heavy duty inspection or an advanced assembly inspection, and it's different products, different interior, but everything on a modular concept, which, by the way, would allow us to have really short production and setup times if every part that we need is at its place when we need it. So
there's the crunch, Carsten. There's the challenge that we find ourselves in at the moment, and one that you find yourself in, but also one that a great many of your customers find themselves in. The whole supply chain challenge is wreaking havoc. We see these stats come out with book to bill ratios that are off the charts, and that's because people are having to order so far ahead, and conversely, people are struggling to get shipments out of the door. Work in progress is rising, inventory is rising, cash deployed is rising. It's challenging to manufacture at the moment.
Viscom is in good shape, let's say it that way. I mean, 2020 wasn't a great year for many of us, especially for companies who are heavy in automotive electronics. So let's say up to half of our business is somehow related to automotive electronics. And that was 2020, not a happy year. A lot of investments were put on hold, but there's a lot of catch up going on right now. So, you know, maybe it's not a bad thing to be strong in automotive right now. The whole transition of, combustion engines to electric mobility, that's a huge challenge. I mean, the German automotive or the German automakers, they are investing heavily in new motors, in new concepts. But there's a totally new, and that's not only automotive related industry for us, that's very exciting. That's battery inspection. So we have worldwide projects from very tiny batteries to very large ones to do quality inspection inline in 3D. That's really exciting. That's a new business for us that's growing.
Yeah. And so you've seen a good recovery in 21?
Yes. Yeah.
You're obviously challenged by the supply chain issues. What are you expecting for 2022? What's your prediction, assuming we continue to recover from the pandemic, vaccination rates increase, travel mobilizes again, we see each other in California and get to shake hands and have a beer together rather than do a Zoom call. How do you see business over the coming 12 months?
Yeah, maybe you started with 2021 was, I think there was a lot of uncertainty how this whole thing will work out. And like many in our industry, in this equipment supplier industry for electronics assembly, we are up at least 20% towards our expectations, which is a good thing. And interesting enough, 2022 has all the good signs for further investment and continuity. And I think the whole supply chain issue, if there's anything positive on it, is actually stretching the ramp up a little bit. I know it's tough in many cases when customers need to be ready in a production line, and it's getting everything in line together, and the components that you need to assemble and so on. And that's something that we work hard on. But we have one main headquarter, and every R&D and assembly is done here in Hanover, Germany. So this is something we say, okay, everything in one basket, but no, it's a big advantage. We have pretty good control over our supply chain. We don't have control about raw materials that much, but we are buying steel and lead shielding for the X-ray systems like all over the world right now. And so we're doing okay, but it's certainly more effort to get everything in shape. So to answer your question, 2022 has a lot of potential. With our new products, we are in good shape in many areas, a lot of interesting new customers. The US is doing pretty strong. Our US team is doing amazing, getting like new accounts, really one of the new, startup automotive things that are going on, which is it's just fantastic.
Yeah, there's some exciting stuff there in the automotive industry, and I think the way we're moving, the shift from internal combustion to EV is also seeing a shift in the way that supply chains are managed, and we're seeing more of the automakers actually working directly with some of the EMS companies, which is really, really fascinating. And they're going to have to tool up and make sure they've got the right equipment to do it. And much as the automotive industry was challenging last year, at least it has long-term visibility. So you can see a little bit further in the future, all things being equal, barring huge, in international orders international issues that we can't predict. So, I don't think you're in a bad place there at all. I feel that we've got to the point where with the whole smart factory discussion, and we tend to not talk about Industry 4.0 too much at the moment. We've talked about it a lot, and I think it's time to walk the walk rather than talk the talk. But I feel that there's a sense that inspection data is one of those cornerstones, one of those fundamentals to the smart factory. And when I see companies like yourself involved in AOI and solder paste inspection, and then adding things like X-ray, I see that ability to mix all that inspection data and actually get some smart feedback from it. Is that something that really resonates with your customers at the moment?
Yes, and I must say that the interest increased even more. I mean, connecting in the factory, the Industry 4.0 was something that I think almost everybody who's involved in inspection and test was somehow connected to a database somehow. But this all reached a totally new level now with a lot of cloud applications. So we have partnerships with many customers, and we follow some of our large customers in their approach, but we also have our own cloud strategy, and we are able to deploy that in large installations at other customers. So there's a lot of things going on. And since you mentioned the buzzwords, artificial intelligence AI is also pretty strong, and it's even common right now. So we integrate it into our systems. We have AI-based algorithms that just work with the classic algorithms together, and they really produce strong and good results in void detection, in wire bond detection, and things like that. So AI has become a technology that's used just like other things because of the calculation power and everything that's available today. So we are in an interesting time, and many things that we discussed for a long time are reality. And I have to mention it, IPC CFX, the protocol is very successful. Great job, IPC team, and it's deployed in many installations. And we are totally behind that, and will even continue to develop it also for our install base, which was maybe not our focus in the beginning. So that's going to be strong. and a good basis for future smart factories.
Yeah, and I absolutely agree. I mean, you've got connectivity, you've got good data coming from the inspection tools that are there on the line, and then you've got these tools like artificial intelligence that allow you to manipulate that huge amount of data that you're producing, which is essential. It feels like the tools that we've got available to us are catching up with the promise of Industry 4.0, which we were talking about 6, 7, 8 years ago now. So I think there's a lot to look forward to there as well. So I think interesting times ahead. Carsten, I very much look forward to meeting you in person probably in California in January. In the meantime, very best of luck with Productronica. I hope it's a very successful show. I'll be keeping a close eye from a distance and catching up with you afterwards to see how it went. But in the meantime, thank you so much for your time.